When the world gets loud and you're feeling lost, like you're walking through the shadows, paying the cost. Don't you dare forget the light you hold inside. It's a beacon in the darkness, let it be your guide.
They'll try to tell you who you should be, but only you can set your spirit free. So break those chains, let your colors show. The only way to truly live is to let yourself grow.
Romans 12 verse 2 says, "Do not be conformed by the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Most people read that scripture, that verse, and they hear encouragement. I want you to hear the embedded warning in it. Paul's not saying that your mind might drift. What he's saying is it's already being shaped right now, every single day. The question is not whether your mind's being formed, because it is. The question's what's forming. If you're not intentionally renewing it, something else is already discipling it. Culture is discipling it. Pain's discipling it. Fear's discipling it. Old rejection's discipling it. And whether you realize it or not, you're being formed. I want you to walk into the courtyard with Peter the night Jesus was arrested. Peter's cold, he's scared, and he's standing at a fire with strangers and a servant girl. Not a soldier, not a religious official, a servant girl. And she looks across the flames and she says, "You were with him." Peter said, "I don't know what you're talking about." He denies it a second time and then a third time. Now here's what you need to understand about Peter in that moment. This is not a man who doesn't love Jesus. This is a man who just hours earlier told Jesus that he was ready to die for him. This is a man who drew out a sword in the garden and cut off a soldier's ear. Stated absolute loyalty. But under pressure, in the cold, in the dark, facing a question that he didn't expect, his nervous system didn't rise to the intention. It fell to his programming. The practiced response. Protect yourself, Peter. Survive the moment. Avoid the threat. It ran faster than his conviction. 3 times Peter agreed with fear before he even recognized what he was doing. That's not a failure of love, my friends. That's the power of practice. Here's what nobody tells you, though. Your thoughts are not telling you the truth. Most of the time, your thoughts are telling you what has been rehearsed the longest, emotionally reinforced the deepest, and practiced the most consistently. And that matters because over time, a thought that you never challenge becomes a pattern that you just keep obeying. You'll call fear wisdom. You'll call avoidance discernment. You'll call insecurity humility. You'll call bitterness protection. And you'll call impulse honesty. And one day, you'll look at a trained reaction, a reflex that you built over years of repetition, and you will call it your personality. Your thoughts are not your problem. Your practice is. The brain is designed to conserve energy. It automates what is repeated. Neural pathways strengthen through use. And over time, the most practiced thought become the most available thought. That's why some people can walk into a room full of possibility and immediately start scanning the room for threats. Because it's rehearsed. That's why some leaders absorb every criticism and deflect every affirmation. Their nervous system has practiced that loop long enough that it runs without them prompting it. Your amygdala, it doesn't know the difference between a real threat and a remembered threat. It responds the same way Tuesday morning as it does to a moment that genuinely broke you in 19. Paul's not writing poetry when he said, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." He was describing a deliberate neurological process, the repeated rewiring of a system that determines how you think before you think. Your thoughts are not your problem, your practice is. Let me show you what this looks like right now. So your CEO sends a message at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night. It says, "Can we talk tomorrow morning?" No context, no subject line, nothing. And in your mind, in under 3 seconds, it's already written the story. It is decided what that meeting's about. It is built the worst case scenario, and it started rehearsing your defense. That's practiced anxiety loop, running without your permission. On this one, your team misses a target. And before the debrief even starts, you've already decided whose fault it is. You're not analyzing, you're defaulting. The practice response arrived before the data did. Or, and this one is quieter, you start to win. The project gets traction. The numbers move. The recognition comes. And something in you, not a thought you choose, a reflex that you've practiced. You have practiced, starts finding reasons that it won't last. It finds the flaws, manufactures the ceiling. Your nervous system is more familiar with survival than it is with stability. Your thoughts are not your problem. Your practices. 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, take every thought captive to obey Christ. That's deliberate language. You do not take something captive by ignoring it. You do not take something captive by letting it run your day unchallenged. You take it captive by stopping long enough to interrogate it. Where did this thought come from? Is it true? Is it aligned with what God says about who I am? Is it producing the fruit of the Spirit? Is this the reflex or the flesh? Is this conviction or condemnation? Is this wisdom or fear that's wearing a theological outfit? You cannot renew what you refuse to recognize. You can't. You cannot surrender what you keep excusing. You can't heal what you keep hiding. You can't become who God called you to be while staying loyal to every thought that has kept you stuck. Your thoughts are not your problem. Your practices. The thought that tells you that you're not enough. You've practiced it. The pattern. That collapse under pressure. You've rehearsed it. The reflex that avoids the hard conversation. You have automated it. The internal voice that says, some of you have built entire leadership styles on top of thoughts that you've never once questioned. Entire leadership patterns, entire responses to conflict built on a foundation that you inherited and never examined. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. A sound mind is not a personality type. It is not something that you were born with or without. It's formed, it's trained, it's renewed. It's built by what you deliberately and repeatedly return to. Your thoughts are not your problem. Your practice is. Go back to Romans 12. Do not be conformed by the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. At the start of this, that sounded like a devotional suggestion. Read it again now. It is a declaration of war against every system, cultural, historical, neurological, that has been shaping your thinking without your consent. Paul is saying that the world is practicing on you every single day. Pain is practicing on you. Old rejection is practicing on you. The content that you consume, the environments that you keep returning to, the conversations that you keep agreeing with, all of it is practicing you. And unless you interrupt it, and you do it intentionally, repeatedly, by returning to truth, you're going to keep arriving at the same place and wondering, why hasn't anything changed? So today, one question: what have I been obeying that God's asking me to take captive? Not every thought deserves your agreement. Not every feeling deserves your obedience. Not every old pattern deserves another season of your life. Your mind, the mind that you refuse to renew, will keep producing the life that you keep saying you want to leave. But the mind surrendered to Christ, disciplined by truth, trained through repetition, it doesn't just change how you think, it changes your decisions, your relationships, your leadership, the culture that you carry into every room that you walk into. Because the culture within you is the culture you create around you. Return to truth and let God rebuild the system from the inside out. If this is the work that you're doing right now, subscribe. Every week we go here, where faith and brain science meet, and where real transformation, it actually can begin. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you soon.